New COVID-19 assessment centers opening in Muskoka. School's out till at least the beginning of May. And making a donation to help our hospital during a trying time. All that and more coming up right now. Welcome to Cogeco News for March 31st. I'm James Bowler with what's happening in your community. Two COVID-19 assessment centers will open in Muskoka tomorrow. The centers in Bracebridge at the Rotary Centre for Youth and in Huntsville, Building B of the Huntsville District Memorial Hospital campus, will not be open for walk-ins. Referrals must come from a healthcare provider. In a news release earlier this afternoon, Dr. Melanie Marr stated it is important to note that presently there are a limited number of test kits in Muskoka. Not everyone who comes to the assessment center will be tested. She adds testing is not available to patients on request, but based on the most up-to-date guidelines issued by the Ministry of Health and the Healthcare Professionals Assessment. A reminder here, if you are experiencing symptoms of COVID-19, you must first seek guidance from your doctor or nurse practitioner as to whether you should attend the center. If it is determined you need to attend, your healthcare provider's office will book an appointment for you. The centers will operate Monday through Friday. Now, your TV has learned a worker at Beaver Creek Correctional Center was confirmed infected with COVID-19. The individual went into self-isolation on March 17th, according to Correctional Service Canada, after testing positive for the virus. We were also told anyone who came into contact with this employee was notified and were advised to self-isolate at home as well. Both the medium and minimum security prisons have shut down visits to inmates, temporary absences unless medically necessary, work releases for offenders, and interregional and international transfers of inmates to mitigate the spread of the virus. And there are no reports of any inmates being sick at this time. The Simcoe Muskoka District Health Unit is not reporting any new cases of COVID-19 in Muskoka at this time either. This comes after 5 cases were confirmed on Monday, all travel related. Those individuals were also confirmed to have gone into self-isolation as soon as they returned from travel. Meanwhile, Parry Sound has its first infection confirmed, and the North Bay Parry Sound Health Unit has also confirmed evidence of community spread within its region. We'll continue to keep you updated on the spread in both regions as more details become available. School is out until early May. That's the decree from Premier Doug Ford as he outlines the next few weeks will be pivotal in the fight against COVID-19 and flattening the curve. In the meantime, the kids need to be learning from home, and the school boards are now working on plans to deal with that situation. According to documents obtained by Your TV, the Trillium Lakelands District School Board has plans in place from elementary to high school. For K-3 learners, there will be a focus on mathematics and language with an average of 3 to 5 hours of work per week. Grades 4 to 6, mathematics, language, science, and social studies with an average of 6 to 8 hours of work. Grades 7 to 8, similar learning with 8 to 10 hours of work. In high school, it's a bit more comprehensive, with students learning key components of the curriculum with work averaging about 3 hours per week. And as for graduation requirements, well, the TLDSB is still working out the details on that one. The majority of this material will be available on the internet, but for kids who don't have access to that, the board will be looking at mailing out materials instead. Your TV will have more details on this comprehensive learning plan as they become available. And a 6-month grace period of student loans for college and university students has been announced by the province of Ontario this Tuesday.
We recognized from a very early juncture the importance of making sure that our graduates that are presently repaying OSAP loans, or those who were just about to graduate and would have to pay back their loans, we wanted to make sure that they had some assurance, some comfort going into this process that we would be able to secure a deferral of their loans. We recognize the challenge that so many of our recent graduates face at the present time in the wake of this crisis, the economic uncertainty surrounding it. We wanted to give them some certainty that at a minimum they would not have to worry about the cost of their student loans. So this is giving them 6 months, no interest, no payments, no collections, gives them a break for a period of 6 months as we try to continue to navigate through these difficult waters.
Also announced earlier this afternoon a finalization of an agreement with eCampus Ontario. What's this program and how will it help students graduate?
We recognized from several weeks ago that we were going to have to start moving into digital online education at the post-secondary level, given the need to limit in-class learning and promote social distancing. And so we recognized while so many of our institutions, and there are a couple of exceptions, but so many of our institutions were in a position to transfer to digital online courses, but one thing that they were not capable of doing without retaining services independently at significant cost to the said institutions was the element of proctoring of examinations and grading of examinations in the digital sense. So in regard to making sure that students are who they say they are when they complete an examination, ensuring that they're not cheating or doing anything else nefarious in nature, we needed that guarantee, not just an assurance, but a guarantee for our sector that those services of digital online proctoring of examinations and grading would ensure integrity. That is going to come at zero expense to all of our colleges and universities, and it is to be utilized on an optional, as-needed basis.
So it's up to the institutions to put this in place. So for here in North Bay, Nipissing, and Canadore, those graduating students will be able to graduate if they have access to this online learning?
The continuity of their academic success can be maintained, yes, with respect to students that could be graduating, or in the alternative, even just students finishing their first year, transitioning to their second, and so forth. And in terms of it's up to the institution, yes, it's up to the institution if they want to use the service that we have secured.
Also announced on this Tuesday, the distribution of $25 million of emergency funding to post-secondary institutions. Canadore will receive just under $685,000, while Nipissing will receive just over $615,000.
Bracebridge, Huntsville, and Gravenhurst have all followed suit with the province's order to close all local parks and recreation centers to the public. This includes, but is not limited to, playgrounds, sports fields, including basketball and tennis courts, off-leash dog parks, skateboard and BMX parks, outdoor community gathering spaces, and gardens. In Huntsville specifically, the floating section of the Hunters Bay Trail is off-limits to the public until further notice. Signage has been put up around most of these communities as well to signify closed-off spaces, but if it's a park or recreational space, assume it's closed. We are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this. Back. Joining me now is Brenda Rhodes from the Bracebridge Chamber of Commerce. Brenda, thank you very much for taking the time to chat with us today.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me.
So we're going to be talking a bit about the results from this recent survey that you did of local businesses in Bracebridge and the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm just going to go through these numbers quickly, and then we can maybe go in a little more in depth in these. So the ones that really stand out to me the most are 81% decline in business reported overall across these businesses, which is really bad. 96% had to adjust their hours. And again, these are all the businesses within the chamber in Bracebridge. And 80% said that they probably won't last more than 60 days, which is 2 months. So really a stark picture here, Brenda, of business in Bracebridge right now. Can you break these numbers a bit down for me and tell me what they really mean to you?
Sure, and I just want to make it clear that this was our first week survey, so that was before government programs were starting to be rolled out. So I think it really was a time of fear for the businesses, unfortunately, and not knowing what was coming down the pipe. So we've asked businesses to be participating in the survey week over week, and so that was, like I said, was the first week. We just finished last week, and now we're surveying for the third week, and we're hopefully seeing that there's going to be a little less trepidation with the businesses now that programs are being rolled out and that they're being supported.
Brenda, from your perspective, how are these programs specifically going to help these Bracebridge businesses?
Well, that's a great question. Because we haven't seen all the details of the programs yet, it seems like there's going to be some good supports and getting businesses through these times. Part of this, the reason why we're doing this survey and that we're asking businesses to do this week over week, and you can join in if you haven't done it in previous weeks, is to get that temperature and truly understand if the businesses are being supported, or if there's a sector of businesses or a group of people that aren't supported, so we can relay that to different levels of government.
Now, these bailouts, these rollouts from both the federal and the provincial governments, I mean, these are great help. However, there are thousands of businesses in Ontario and, even more across Canada that are looking for support. And I've heard that there's been some struggles in, first of all, understanding these processes, and secondly, actually getting things going because there's such a backlog. So what is the Chamber doing to help sort of ease this struggle?
So number one, we're in contact with the Canadian Chamber, and we're on phone calls, if not every couple of days or more, talking to the government agencies that are trying to create these programs and who will be rolling out these programs. So not only are we relaying these messages to them through the Canadian Chamber, but we're listening to where they're at and what's going to be coming down the pipe. Like I said, we don't exactly know what that is. I'm hoping by the end of this week or into next week, we'll have a better idea. From the Chamber side, once we get that information, we are relaying any information that we have. We just released a document that was done by a woman at Carleton University, who really broke it down step by step how to apply to these different supports. And so we're hoping to provide things like that so the businesses find it as easy as possible to get the supports they need.
So these business owners, these are, I mean, a lot of these are kind of mom and pop shops. They're really not fully aware of all the ins and outs of how to, get these supports. And I'm sure that the Chamber is obviously providing support in that way too. So if they have questions, they can call you.
Absolutely. They can go on our website to, number one, access the survey or any of the tools and any of the information that we have on there. Like you said, please give us a call. Our number is 645-5231. Or if you're outside of the Bracebridge Chamber catchment, of course, we're more than willing to help you. But if you want to call your own chamber in your community, we're all there to support you through this time and make sure you get the support that you need.
Well, Brenda, thank you very much again for taking the time. I'm looking forward to more positive results in this next survey. I really hope we can see a bit of a bounce back from these businesses.
I hope so too.
All right, we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back. Well, a big donation recently came in to help with the expected uptick in need at South Muskoka Hospital. Our own Samantha Johnson checked in with the Hospital Foundation's Colin Miller for more on this story.
We launched our emergency response fund about 10 days ago. So we went out to the community and asked people to consider a donation to the foundation to support the COVID-related initiative that we know we're going to be faced with through the pandemic. I have to say that the response from the community has been absolutely overwhelming. We've received donations from really every corner of the community, seasonal residents, cottagers, permanent residents, community associations, and other groups in Muskoka. We received one major gift, a wonderful donation from a group of cottagers. They are here in Muskoka weekends and through holidays, and they felt the need to support the hospital because as cottagers, they feel it's important that they have local services here in our community if they need them.
And so right now, though, it's so important that there is funds available if the hospital shall need them.
Yeah. The reality is we're not really sure what's coming down the pipe, but our foundation board of directors, and rightly so, made the decision that whatever the hospital needs, we didn't want finances to be a barrier. So we took it upon ourselves to go out to the community, and we'll do whatever it takes to keep our frontline workers working and healthy and looking after our community healthcare needs.
And that's an important message. So far, so good in this area, but we want to keep it that way.
Correct. Yeah.
So again, what is for you? Obviously, you're working from home now, I'm assuming.
We're working from home. We're outside here today because like all the visitors and the other non-essential care providers, we've been working at home since last Monday and will continue to do so throughout the pandemic.
And it's just a good practice to help keep everybody safe at the hospital.
Yeah, we're trying to limit those who need to be in the building, so we protect our patients and our healthcare providers.
Well, we're back to the break, but stay tuned for more after this. Welcome back. How can you be more productive and stay on task while working from home? That's the dilemma a lot of residents in the area are facing now. I chatted with Salim Hall of YMCA Huntsville to get some tips on a better work-life balance while being self-isolated.
There's a lot of people trying to strike a new balance of what their daily routine looks like. And I think the term routine is important. Normally when we go to work, we will put on either a uniform or dress the part. And I think keeping that type of routine is important, right? We're creating a division between when you're working and when you stop working. You can kind of take off that suit or that uniform. I'm not suggesting that people put on their work uniform, but I think it's important to, if you're going to start working, dress a little differently than if you're going to be relaxing at home. Especially when you're at home, it's good to have an opportunity to kind of, okay, I'm done work. I'm going to take off these clothes. I'm going to put on something a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more something that kind of indicates I'm not working anymore. And I think that's the first tip, is kind of have those demarcation points between work and your home life, right? Because it's going to be tough for a lot of people who've never really worked at home. Another tip that the Y is giving is allow yourself some personal time. It is okay to put the load of laundry in while you're working, right? It's allow yourself a little bit of flexibility. Employers are going to understand that you're at home. People have the ability to multitask, and I think not being so stringent on, I got to work, I can't do anything else, can create some additional stressors in this very, very unusual time. And so those are just two tips we have in terms of working from home and striking that home-work balance. Setting hours for yourself is hugely important. Making sure you have a routine, and especially in these times where routine is being thrown out the window. Set a time to get up at the same time every day. Don't allow yourself to sleep in, and making sure that routine is part of your life. And even if it's routine for personal care, at the YMCA, one of our values is self-care, and definitely allowing yourself, listen, you're at home, there's an opportunity to build up on your skill set. So whether you designate an hour or half hour to brush up on your Excel skills, maybe look at a new way of presenting information, even if it's home budgeting or personal budgeting, learn to cook a new recipe. I mean, personal time and setting a schedule for that is as important as setting a schedule for your work life.
Thank you to Salim for those very helpful tips. I hope they help you at home as well. We are going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll have a recap of today's headlines, so stay tuned for that. Welcome back. Now, before we wrap the show, let's take a look at today's headlines and what's made news in Muskoka. Well, Muskoka's officials have come together to open 2 COVID-19 assessment centers with sites set up in Bracebridge at the Rotary Centre for Youth on Wellington Street and in Huntsville on the campus of Care Hospital site. These centers are not for walk-in testing. You will need to be sent by a healthcare practitioner. They will be open tomorrow, and from there they'll be open Monday to Friday. There are no new cases of COVID-19 in Muskoka, where there are currently 6 cases, all travel related. There's now 1 case in Parry Sound, and the North Bay Parry Sound Health Unit says community transmission is evident. And school is out for a lot longer, as the province has extended the closure until the beginning of March. Local boards are working on plans to keep the kids educated during this time. As mentioned before, along with the municipal facilities, all parks and recreational outdoor fields are closed in Muskoka, Parry Sound, across Ontario, basically. So make sure you stay away from those areas. Now, for all the local COVID-19 details, you can tune into Cogeco News live at 5 during the week to find details on our Your TV Facebook page and our website, yourtv.tv. And that is Cogeco News. For more information on the program, head over to yourtv.tv or connect with us on social media by searching Your TV Muskoka. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Remember to catch us live at 5 Monday to Thursday. From everyone here at Cogeco News, thanks for watching. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay home.